Well, hello there. It's been a while, my friends. I hope you're doing really well. Um, Firstly, before I even start talking about this video, I sincerely apologize for the quality of the camera right now. It's dark, it's late. I don't normally film at night, so the quality's probably not great. And the room behind me is a total mess from packing orders, and I honestly can't be bothered cleaning it up. So sorry about that. Probably just Alt Tab or like minimize or do something else while you listen if you're interested. So anyway, moving on. A massive topic of the day that I've been talking to a lot of people about is Instagram. Um, I've been a pretty outspoken critic of Instagram and changes to Instagram and things like that, and what it means for the community, especially creatives, blah, 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 blah. But in short, something massive happened this morning, and that is that Instagram likes essentially are no longer visible in Australia. So if your account is Australian, at some point today, you will no longer be able to see likes on Instagram photos in your feed. You can still see how many likes your own posts get, but when you're just scrolling through your feed, it doesn't say anymore the amount of likes that are there. It just shows you comments and the caption and stuff like that. And you can see if a friend has liked it, like if, say, I've liked a photo, it would say Mark and others have liked this, but it doesn't tell you the number. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bit of both. It's mostly a good thing, I think, but I'll talk about why in a second. Apparently, they've also trialed this in other countries, particularly Canada. And if they're starting to roll it out and trial it, because it is just a trial apparently, but if they're trialing it in Australia and some other countries like New Zealand as well and Japan, I think I read, if they're trialing it, that's probably a sign that it was a success in Canada, I guess, and probably something that they'll continue to roll out. And overall, I do think that is it's probably a good idea. I guess it does make sense. Anyway, so I spoke to a few people about this today, and I had some points, and pretty much everyone I spoke to actually disagreed with me on a couple of things. So I thought I'd share that and see what you guys think as well. No, it's not my usual type of content, but deal with it. Deal with it. You don't have to watch it. So, like I said, I've been a big critic of Instagram in the past. I think it used to be awesome. I built a business on it. Perhaps that's my fault because I relied on it too much, which is a fair criticism. And at the same time, it's also a free product, so they're entitled to make money from it and things like that. But anyway, so why? What are the pros and cons of a change like this? Well, firstly, I think particularly for younger people, it's probably a really positive thing. Like I hear a lot of stories from friends and stuff with like kids in their teens and all that kind of thing about kids that post a photo to Instagram, and if it doesn't get enough likes in the first like 5 minutes, they delete it, and like it's really affecting their mental health and all sorts of rubbish like that. It's just absolutely, crazy to us, but it's a real problem. So it helps to fix that. So instead of a young person posting the photo that they think is the most photoshopped of them and going to get the most likes because it's a more popular thing to post about, they might be more inclined to just post about the stuff that they actually want to post and the things that they enjoy, which is what Instagram's supposed to be about. So on that side of things, it's really good. Another topic is, well, a lot of businesses deal with influencers. I don't, so I don't really care about it at all. But if you're a company like a clothing company or whatever, and you are sending product to influencers, I imagine that when you're picking someone who's going to be an influencer, you look at the profile and you want to get someone that gets a lot of likes on their posts, right? Because it's probably less chance of fake followers and that kind of thing, although you can still get fake likes, mind you, which is a whole other thing. So you want to try and pick people that get high engagement. Now, how do you tell if someone gets high engagement? I guess you could get them to send you screenshots of their analytics and things like that, but in general, you can't just judge a lot of people and pick out the best ones more easily and things like that. So in a way, I kind of feel like that's a good thing. I probably would get a lot of disagreement from people, I think, but I kind of hate the whole influencer thing now. I think people are a bit sick of having people they look up to try and con them into buying stuff because they're getting paid and all that. So I'm a bit against it myself, but at the same time, I respect that people have built followings and they want to get paid and turn that into a business, just like I turned my Instagram into a business. So, fair enough. So this is the part where people start to disagree with me. So a lot of people said to me that they think that this will encourage people to give you more likes on a photo when they don't see the number. And I actually disagree with that. I think that potentially it will discourage people, or you'll be less likely, because if you're scrolling through a news feed, excuse me, sorry. If you're scrolling through a news feed and you don't even see the number of likes on a post, I feel like you're probably less likely to contribute a like. You don't really feel like you're contributing anything by liking it. If it's a really good post or something like that, you might comment on it, which is really good. But otherwise, you'll probably just keep scrolling and be like, whatever. Now, if you're someone like me who maybe posts art and creative stuff a lot, right? I rely on people liking my content so that it continues to show up in their newsfeed. Because if you follow me on Instagram and you don't regularly like my photos or comment on them or go to my profile or whatever, the algorithm will just gradually filter my stuff out of your newsfeed because it will think you're not really that interested. So we just want to show you the stuff that you are interested in, which is a fair point on Instagram's perspective as well, right? Because they just want it to be the best experience for you. So they say anyway. So from my perspective, it can harm my growth and my profile. So less and less people will continue to see my posts, which for me is a really negative thing. And a lot of people have disagreed with me on this, but that's just the way that I see it. I see it as people who have business profiles and things like that constantly being encouraged to spend money on Instagram, which is a fair point. Like I said, they have a right to make money. But things like the algorithm changing, like where in the last 6 months, I post about this on Instagram, I've shown screenshots of my analytics and the way that they change. I used to get a post on Instagram that would have 20,000 reach, 1,200 likes, things like that. And I would see a steady increase of followers and engagement, and it was really cool. 6 months later, 2,000 or 3,000 reach and way less likes and stuff like that as well. And on the other side of that, to be fair, you could argue that my content's just crap and people don't want to engage with it. And I guess that's a fair criticism as well. So yeah, that's really my perspective. Overall, I do still think it's a good thing. I personally feel, it's probably kind of pathetic to admit, but I do feel a sense of like validation if I post something and it gets a lot of likes, right? I post artwork and tons of my followers like it, engage with it and say that it's really good or whatever. And I think, okay, I've done something right here. And then I can spend a long time working on something. I can spend days revisiting a concept, trying to figure it out. Then I share it with people. It gets very little recognition and I feel disheartened, even though I probably shouldn't. And maybe it is just a sign that content is bad, like I said, but for me, it's just kind of disheartening. And I'm like, well, why am I even bothering to share this stuff? Because a lot of the time I create things to share with people, and I teach things like on YouTube and stuff just to share the knowledge and things like that and interact with people, and I'm losing that interaction. So why would I bother anymore when I could just stick to just doing work for my existing clients and stuff like that and not really be on social media at all and save heaps of hours every day? So for me, it's kind of a little bit negative, but I have to admit that I did a post today and it felt kind of good just not having to worry about the likes on the post. Just doing a post excuse me, sorry, I've been a bit ill lately. Just doing a post because it's something that I actually enjoyed. It's just something I wanted to share and not having to worry as much about the number on that people are seeing and be like, oh, his post didn't get that much likes. His career's going down the tunnel, man. The drain, dude. He's lost it. He's not good anymore. Things like that. Those are the kind of negative thoughts that go through my head when posts don't get that many likes, I guess. So, but anyway, I'm really curious to kind of open the conversation up a bit more because I suspect that after this trialing phase, if it's a success, it probably will be. They'll probably push this further. It'll go to some of the bigger markets like America next, and that'll have a really big impact. So I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments if I'm just being really stupid, but what do you think? Is it going to impact you? And what would you do? Would you change social networks? Do you think it's worth it, or are you just going to keep going? So definitely let me know. In the meantime, I have a whole bunch of tutorials lined up, so I promise I'll go back to doing other video content really soon, and I'll teach you guys more drawing and stuff like that. And let me know, as always, if you have any specific requests and stuff you want to learn. But anyway, that's it from me tonight. Just a bit of a rant. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.